Take a few seconds to look at this first picture. If you first saw a monkey swinging from a tree, chances are you are very creative and full of new ideas. You're also aware that every decision and step you take in life guides your personal development. You're also likely to be great at problem solving, no matter how mind-boggling the situation. You may struggle with organizing all your thoughts and ideas, though. Make sure to leave time to plan and organize your daily life so you don't get overwhelmed. Be careful not to isolate yourself too. It's easy to get caught up in your own bubble, but your friends need you. If you saw a tiger instead, this means you are more likely to be analytical and practical, and generally more understanding and empathetic too. When given a task, you immediately get to it, but you can get a little too focused on doing things your own way. Make sure to take time to listen to others. They can help you learn and grow. You also tend to find change very scary, but whatever happens, you're going to find success because you never give up. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you see the pillars first, you prefer being comfortable and secure rather than taking risks. Chances are, you also spend a lot of time dreaming about your goals rather than actively working towards them. But you'll likely need to break out of this to achieve your big goals in life. Remember, you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. If you see the people first, you're more of a free spirit. You're a kind soul, and life rarely seems to dull you. You're also more likely to make radical decisions at the drop of a hat. You view life as an adventure and are super curious. But when the right time comes, you may find settling down harder than others, so keep that in mind. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you see a duck, you are more likely to act out of emotional impulse. You're more inclined to make abrupt decisions, which are often affected by mood swings. If you first spotted a rabbit, you consider the consequences of your actions carefully. You're a very logical person. This will help figure out your mental age, and no, this doesn't mean how smart you are. Your mental age is how you see the world, either through the eyes of a child or someone older. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you saw an elderly man, it means that you are a mature person in terms of your thoughts and life outlook. You have seen the world and experienced the highest highs and the lowest lows. These experiences have allowed you to grow as a person and gain knowledge. You're grounded in reality and see the world for what it is, but you're also calm and humble. If you first saw a young girl, you're probably still a kid at heart. Despite going through rough patches, you still have your innocence and view the world with all the curiosity of a child. You can find joy in the simplest of things and have preserved your inner child, unlike most other people. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you're looking at a face, you try to steer clear of conflict. You also come across as friendly, so congrats! You're very intuitive, which helps you out on the daily basis, and are sensitive to others' feelings. If you see two birds, you're a cheerful soul. You're welcoming and love meeting new people. You're also a great listener when taking advice from your family. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you first saw a woman playing the saxophone, you're most likely an extrovert. You love socializing and are confident and outgoing. This makes you a fan favorite at parties. But be careful not to burn yourself out. It's important that you take time for yourself to rest and de-stress. If you spot the outline of a face, you're an introvert. Parties or crowds might not be where you thrive. They can instead just bring you a lot of stress. You're more of a homebody, who may have enjoyed the isolation of lockdown. You don't like burning the candle at both ends by partying and clubbing, but that's not to say you won't stay up late into the night binging your favorite shows. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. Did you first see a tree? Then you likely have great organizational skills and you're more inclined to be a natural leader. Problem solving is also a great strength of yours, but this also may mean you rely too much on reason and logic. Being rooted in realism can stop you from dreaming and you may lose ambitious goals. If you saw a gorilla, you're a critical person, not only of yourself but of others too. You struggle to accept when others don't progress at the same pace as you. You don't like the idea of wasting time, which is why you keep yourself busy. But this pursuit of knowledge means you're intelligent and contribute fresh ideas that others may not get. Saw a lion? Then you're a powerful person who's determined and hardworking. You're goal-oriented and always focused. But you sometimes let your primitive instincts get the best of you, which can make you wild and unpredictable. Finally, if you saw a fish, you like to live in the moment and have a positive outlook on life. You don't like to feel negative and try to avoid it at all costs. Other people are an important part of your life, but don't let them take advantage of you. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you see a small village with huts, trees, and birds, then you're likely more of a person of custom. You prefer the calmness that comes with a simple way of life, rather than the buzz and noise of the city. Basically, you're more traditional. If you instead see an elephant, you're friendly, considerate, and thoughtful. You're loyal to your close family and friends, and they respect you for it. People who see the elephant are also more likely to be a good listener. Which ball is bigger? They're actually the same size, but if the ball in the back looks bigger to you, you like to take control of situations and help others. You have good attention to detail too. If the front ball looks bigger, you like to be led and don't mind taking instructions from other people. You're less likely to be a natural leader. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you see the smiley face first, it means you use the right side of your brain more. You're a creative and artistic person. If you saw the sad face first, you tend to use the left side of your brain more. This means that you're more analytical. You often think long and hard before making a decision and like to calculate things. Which color are you most drawn to? If you went with yellow, you're a cheerful person and enjoy spreading happiness to the people in your life. You're the life of the party and are vocal. You're a happy-go-lucky type, but you do fear rejection. If you picked red, you love adventure and are great at making snap decisions. You have a dominant personality and like things done your way. It's likely that you have a low tolerance for undisciplined people, and you may also be sensitive to others. Blue means that you're a trustworthy person that people can rely on. You're a perfectionist and examine the smaller details, but you can get bogged down with these details. You also have a big fear of being criticized. Finally, if green was your color, you're calm and cope well with high-pressure situations. You're often the mediator in stressful situations too. When you get stressed, you like to sleep it off. You're supportive and loyal, but don't like change. You're also a procrastinator, which can cause trouble when making deadlines. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. If you saw the letter A first, which is the hardest thing to do here, you're a really attentive type who likes scrutinizing things. You notice what others might easily miss, and no detail can avoid your sharp eye and wit. Others may sometimes avoid you because of your equally sharp tongue, though you should think of curbing your sarcastic nature a bit. If your first image was the man with the binoculars, then you're basically the opposite. You don't think details are important enough and prefer to look at the big picture. You're a good strategist and plan ahead of time very well, which makes you a reliable friend and partner. Still, sometimes details can be important, and by missing them, you may also lose valuable opportunities. If the first image to pop into your view was the car, you hold freedom dearly, and traveling has a special place in your heart. You value your ability to pack a small bag in no time and take off at short notice. Other people might think of you as careless, though, because you like spontaneity a little bit too much. Butterflies are live symbols of change. Pick the one you like most by its color and shape. If number 1 caught your eye, you're sensitive and honest. You show a lot of compassion to others, including strangers. Helping other people is in your nature, and you rush to someone's rescue right away. Don't neglect your own feelings and ask for help if you need it. Treat yourself with the same respect and care. Your kind and beautiful soul deserves it. Did you pick butterfly number 2? You must be a peaceful person in harmony with yourself and the rest of the world. One word that can define you is balance. You have no problem navigating between your personal and professional life. People never notice your problems and struggles as you prefer to hide your feelings and distance yourself until you go back to your happy and calm self. Those who went for number 3 are creative souls. You see the beauty in little things. You're logical and like to analyze everything, even when you don't have to. You're a perfectionist and would rather miss a deadline than hand in something you aren't 100% happy with. Your work means the world to you and you don't mind doing some extra hours. If you like the 4th butterfly most of all, you're ambitious and self-organized. You set goals and achieve them step by step. Failure is your greatest fear as you don't like to let yourself and others down. People who don't know you well might think you're arrogant and obsessed with success. If your choice is butterfly number 5, you've got a lot of energy and enthusiasm. You always look on the bright side of life and find inspiration for endless fun. Your biggest fear is boredom. You want to try everything in the world and go everywhere. That's why you take up as many tasks at once and don't always finish on time. Did number 6 win your heart? You must be logical and wise. Others ask you for advice and criticism. You analyze the situation and don't take anyone's side in a conflict. You take good care of your own emotions and don't worry too much about anything. A clean conscience is your secret to staying that calm. Moving on. Which of these images scares you the most? Can't stand the sight of overdue bills? You're a down-to-earth and hardworking person. You like to live by the rules. Try doing something crazy at least once in your life. You might love it. In the case the stage and spotlights make you shiver, you probably have some secret bugging you. Try sharing it with someone or confess you've done something wrong. It might also be your shyness. Remember, you're worthy of attention. If you can't stand the idea of a breakup, you've probably broken your heart too many times. Try to take up a new hobby, get a haircut, buy some clothes you'd never normally wear, and love yourself just like you do your significant other. It'll only make your relationship stronger. Are nightmares your worst nightmare? Try some meditation before going to bed. Also, accept that you can't have control over everything in your life. It's okay to slip sometimes. The snake symbolizes your enemies. If you know them, try making the first step and solving the conflict peacefully. If it's impossible, spend more time with your loved ones and remember you can't be everyone's favorite. Do you fear the big open spaces, aka the unknown? In that case, you're someone who has a plan for everything and can't stand surprises. It's okay to sometimes let things go, and they might work out even better than you expected. Now, decide which one of these images of the sky is the best reflection of your current mood. If it's some clouds and the sun coming through, you have your ups and downs, but you're a pretty balanced person. You keep your emotions under control and know that every cloud has a silver lining. Not a cloud in the sky. You're one lucky person. You're happy with everything in your life at the moment. You don't need a reason to smile and celebrate life every day. Keep that attitude. Thunder and lightning. You must be going through an exciting time in life right now. New job, moving to a different city, working on the biggest project ever. Embrace it. It definitely has a lesson for you to learn. Did you pick the bright sunset? It means you're in the reflecting phase of life right now. You're looking at your past with gratitude and a little sadness. The best is yet to come. The romantic pinkish sky speaks for itself. You're in love. It could be another person, your job, your hobby, or even yourself. Cherish this feeling. If it's all gray and no sun for you, stay strong. Sometimes the only way out is through. Remember, it's okay to ask others for help and support if you really need it. Which of these pictures inspires you the most? Is it a blank canvas for you? You're probably tired with everyday routine and want to change something in your life. Start small and you won't regret it. If you picked the Jigsaw Puzzle, you love solving tasks no one else can cope with. You only feel happy when you're growing, learning new things, and testing yourself in different ways. In case you went for the big house, you're a family person. You wouldn't move far away from your loved ones even for all the money in the world. You feel happiest helping others. Ready to teleport to that jungle? You're a natural explorer. Boredom is your synonym for disaster. Keep going as long as you're careful and sometimes at least a little practical. If you can't wait to climb that career ladder, you know exactly what you want from life and take it all. You're goal-oriented, focused, and ambitious. It's all good as long as you don't punish yourself for little failures on the way. In case a picture of sneakers motivates you the most, put them on and finally go for a run. You must have been putting it off for too long. Time for a house makeover. Which one of these patterns would you choose for one of the walls in your living room? If you prefer the classics, looks like you don't like to stand out or draw too much attention to yourself. You rely on the opinion of others a lot. Speaking up sometimes won't hurt. If you chose the tropical vibes, you're the heart and soul of any party. You're always on vacation mode, even when you're at your office. Life is just more fun this way. In case you'd rather go with a plain white wall, you're probably a bit overwhelmed with everything right now. Try spending some time outside to calm down and clear your mind. Black and white pattern fans have an analytical mind and keen attention to detail. If that's your choice, you're great with numbers and planning. You never make spontaneous decisions. If you'd like to have a pastel palette on your wall, you're a loving and caring person. You have a lot of friends and always put them first. Your house means the world to you, so you keep it super tidy and buy little cute things to make it even cozier. In case you went for the bright abstract design, you're the rebel artsy type. You aren't afraid to express yourself. You're a live statement of independence and your own style, from the color of your coat to the pattern on your walls. One letter is missing here. What is it going to be? If you decided it's missing a P, you care a lot about your appearance and the impression you make on others. You don't mind spending time and money on expensive things that make you feel good. If you'd rather add a letter K here, you're an active person, always looking for thrills. You'd never say no to adventures and risk. You forget about any problems you've had quickly and are ready to move on again. Those who think this word needs a D are hardworking and rather humble people. You're a great team player and don't mind when someone else takes credit for your common work. In case you believe you should add an M here, you must feel uncomfortable right now. You probably hurt someone without realizing it or did something else you aren't proud of. It's never too late to say you're sorry.
They say that women spend an average of 600 minutes on a mobile phone every day, compared to 459 minutes for men, according to a study. This time is usually spent on work-related tasks, like sending emails, as well as social media surfing. However, this is not just about the numbers. In fact, phone usage can reveal a lot about your personality. Constant phone checker. Being constantly dependent on your phone can make you more impulsive and easily distracted in other areas of life. According to studies, people too attached to their phones may become more emotional compared to those who can stay away from their phones an entire day and keep a nearly full battery. So, if you want to become more focused and calm, try limiting the number of phone checks during the day and not exceeding this limit no matter what. And of course, don't forget to reward yourself at the end of the day for your own patience and discipline. Bubble bath, a delicious dinner, a night walk with your special one. Choose what really motivates you. The aesthetic user. Cell phone owners who don't use their phones that much and ignore technological capabilities such as cameras, payment, access to social media, and so on. If it's all about you, congratulations! According to studies, not being tied to your phone is a nice place to be, because such people feel more relaxed, satisfied with their lives in general, and tend to have higher self-esteem. The phone drowner. Some people can grab their phones just to answer one single text message and get stuck on social networks for long hours, forgetting about other things. If your screen time makes you blush, Perhaps it's time to limit your phone use. Researchers found out that cutting the phone usage duration and frequency may help raise the level of optimism and become more productive. The midnight user. People who frequently fall asleep hugging their phones raise the risk of waking up on the wrong side of the bed. The blue light emitted by cell phone screens restrains the production of the key sleep hormone melatonin. So, falling asleep becomes an even more difficult task, as well as waking up the next day and feeling energized. As for the opposite, people with a higher sense of duty usually stop using their phones before midnight. This is wise because sleep loss affects our mood greatly. It's usually recommended to avoid looking at bright screens 2 or 3 hours before bed. The full battery user. This behavior is a sign of high discipline and leadership skills. Conscientious people don't like when a battery is low. So, if you prefer your battery properly charged, perhaps it's a sign to call upon your leadership skills and reconsider your career. The excessive caller. Making and receiving too many calls? Study shows that extroverted people make and get more irregular calls and text messages during the day. And this also applies to nighttime. Of course, the modern age of technology is just a paradise for extroverts who can now connect with friends all over the world. Just make sure you don't forget to sleep, eat, and hug your loved ones sometimes. The avoider of calls. On the contrary, more introverted people tend to make fewer phone calls than others. This may be caused by shyness and few social contacts, or simply the willingness to focus on one task at a time. Besides, many people have developed a telephobia, the fear of making and receiving calls. A person with such a disorder has anxiety when someone calls and struggles with receiving any calls. If you notice such symptoms in yourself or your friends, know that you're not alone. It's pretty common. Recent research of UK office workers revealed that 76% of millennials and 40% of baby boomers experience anxiety-induced thoughts when they hear the phone ring. So it's good to have so many alternative methods of communication. The round-the-clock user. Speaking of phobias, there's an opposite disorder when people develop anxiety caused by not having a working mobile phone. It's called nomophobia, and it's also pretty common. More than a half of polled adults tend to feel uncomfortable when they lose their cell phone, run out of battery or credit, or have no network coverage. So, if switching your phone to airplane mode makes you panic, it makes sense to remind yourself that just 100 years ago, people lived without cell phones and still managed to survive and evolve. The phone breakers. Surely everyone knows at least one person who constantly breaks and loses their phone. Such people tend to be more impulsive, rushing, and multitasking than others. But it turns out that this behavior is also pretty common. The average American drops their phone on the ground 4 times every week. Over a third of polled people also confessed that they drop it even more often than that. Statistics show that people usually damage their phones at home, while cooking in the kitchen, watching movies, or even in the bathroom. If you want to reduce the risk of damaging your phone, use it with both hands, especially while taking pictures or typing messages. You can also use a reliable screen protector and stick a phone ring holder to the back of your device. And, of course, keep it in a secure place when you're not using it, in those rare moments. The faithful user. You also probably know someone with opposite behavior, a person who uses the same phone for decades. The top 3 reasons why people go and buy a new phone are breaking down of current device, battery life decrease, and simply the desire to purchase a new model. But in faithful users' hands, the cell phone magically becomes an unbreakable totem that accompanies them for years and even decades. This type tends to stay in a comfort zone and observe the world from the outside, appreciating small things in life. The ringtone person. These guys despise the basic ringtones and strive to customize their phones with special music for each and every contact and occasion. Only about 15 years ago, the only way to get custom ringtones was by purchasing them from a service provider. But luckily, today you can create and load your own ringtone for free. On the one hand, using ringtones can make your friends laugh and dance, but on the other, it can be pretty annoying for some people. In any case, this characterizes such a user as a bright and extraordinary personality, capable of resisting public opinion. The loudspeaker. This refers to people who always shout into the phone and attract everyone's attention. When it comes to phone calls, they seem to forget all the rules of etiquette. It would be useful for such users to visit the Tokyo subway one day. In Japan, it's considered extremely bad manners to talk on your cell phone on trains and subways. Of course, they will not write a monetary fine, but they can issue a warning for such behavior. The fashionable user. Take a look at your phone. Does it look like a colorful holiday tree or as a basic piece of glass and metal? Customizing your phone case, adding accessories, and changing wallpaper regularly characterizes artistic personalities sensitive to beauty and wanting every aspect of life to be stylish. Maybe this is why the mobile phone decoration market has become a huge multi-billion-dollar industry. The full storage user. If your phone memory is permanently depleted, this may indicate you're a very open-minded person who doesn't care too much about the future. You probably tend to avoid boring routines and delay tasks. But at the same time, you may be a talented creator, so take a closer look at your artistic skills. As for the memory, mobile producers most likely will very soon invent a gadget able to store your entire life. On the contrary, regular cleaning of your storage from music, photos, and videos can be a sign that you're good at strategic decisions and long-term planning. So, perhaps it's time to apply those skills to build the life of your dreams. The no-phone user. This type covers people who live without phones. Do they even exist? Yep. About 1 billion people across the world still don't own any mobile phone, and a third of the world's population is unable to access the internet. There are exactly 5.13 billion people in the world who own mobile devices, which is around 66% of the world's population. And only 35% own smartphones. So if you own one, you're in a lucky minority.